$480,000, cash, peeled off a resort cage counter in stacks of hundreds over the course of exactly 31 days by a married couple who never once made a bet the casino considered dangerous. No card counting, no edge sorting, no shuffle tracker in a hoodie whispering into a mic. Just a slippery little piece of paper the marketing department printed by the 100,000 and handed out like breath mints. Let me take you back. Late September 2019, a resort casino on the Gulf Coast of Mississippi called the Verano Palm. Mid-tier property, 2 towers, a chocolate fountain in the buffet, a country act on Friday nights. Not the kind of place that shows up in gambling documentaries. And that is precisely why this story happened there. The couple were named Ray and Miller Osgood. She was 34, he was 39. She managed the pharmacy counter at a supermarket in Mobile. He drove a delivery truck for a beverage distributor. They had 2 kids, a mortgage, a used minivan with a cracked windshield, and about $11,000 in a joint savings account they'd been slowly building since their wedding. They were not gamblers. They played the slots twice a year on anniversary weekends, and that was it. Then, in the second week of September, Ray opened the mail and found a promotional envelope from the Verano Palm. Inside was a glossy welcome back booklet. She'd been on the mailing list since a girls' weekend 2 years earlier, and stapled to the back page was a book of match play coupons, 20 of them, each one worth $25. Now, if you've never used a match play coupon, here's the deal. You walk up to a table game, you put down a real chip, say $25, and you lay the coupon on top of it. If your hand wins, the dealer pays you as if you'd bet 50. Your original 25 back, plus 50 in winnings. If you lose only the real chip. The coupon is scooped up and torn either way. One-shot promotional bet. Casinos use them to pull people off the slot floor and onto the tables, where the house edge is thinner, but the drop is deeper. Ray read the fine print on the back of the coupon while she was standing at the kitchen counter, still in her work polo, the kids fighting over a juice box in the next room. And she noticed something. The coupons had a serial number, a little 6-digit code printed in gray ink in the corner. But the redemption rules didn't say 1 per household. They didn't say 1 per player card. They didn't say non-transferable. What they said, in the smallest legible font the printer could manage, was this: valid on any even money wager at any live table game. 1 coupon per hand. Expires October 31st, 2019. That was it. That was the whole rule book. She showed Miller. He shrugged at first. 20 coupons, $25 a pop. Even if you won every single one, you'd walk with maybe $1,000, and nobody wins every single one. Not enough to matter. But Ray had already done the math in her head, standing there at the counter. Here's what she'd figured out. On an even money bet, say the pass line at craps or red at roulette or a blackjack hand, your real money expected value with a $25 match play coupon is not 0. It's positive, substantially positive, because you're only risking 25 real dollars, but you're winning 50 real dollars slightly less than half the time. Run the numbers on the pass line, factor in the tiny house edge, and every single coupon is worth about $11.80 in pure expected value. Not the 25 printed on the front, but not 0 either. 20 coupons times $11.80. That's $236 on average for walking in the door. Not life-changing. But here's the thing. Ray kept reading the booklet, and on page 4, buried in a paragraph about the loyalty program, was this line: additional coupon books may be requested at the Players Club desk by any guest with a valid rewards card in good standing, subject to availability. Subject to availability. Not 1 per year, not 1 per quarter. Subject to availability. She looked at Miller. Miller looked at her. And Ray Osgood, pharmacy manager from Mobile, Alabama, said the sentence that made them $480,000 richer. What if availability just means whenever we ask? They drove up the next Saturday. Both of them signed up for player cards under their real names, real IDs, real addresses, nothing shady. They played a little video poker, had dinner at the Steakhouse, and on their way out, Ray stopped by the Players Club desk and asked, sweet as pie, if she could get another one of those cute coupon books like the one they mailed her. The hostess didn't even look up, printed one on the spot, 20 more coupons. Miller asked for one too, got one, 20 more. They walked out of the Verano Palm that Saturday night with 40 fresh coupons in Ray's purse and about $900 in actual winnings from playing them at the craps table. They had also, without knowing it yet, just found the crack in the wall. The next week, they came back on a Tuesday afternoon. Different shift, different hostess, same routine. 2 more coupon books, 40 more coupons. This time they played smarter. Ray had spent the entire week reading about match play strategy on old gambling forums, the ones with black backgrounds and forum signatures from 2006. She learned the optimal game for a match play is a bet with the lowest possible house edge on an even money outcome. The pass line at craps was good. The banker at baccarat, minus the commission wrinkle, was better. And a full-pay blackjack table with a doubling coupon was the best of all. But the Verano Palms coupons were just standard match play, so craps it was. They developed a rhythm. Ray would play one table, Miller another. $25 real chip, coupon on top, one roll of the dice. Win 50 or lose 25. Reset. Next coupon. They'd burn through 40 coupons in about 90 minutes, walk away with somewhere between $800 and $1,400 in profit, tip the dealers well, tip the cocktail server well, get their meals comped, and drive home. The pit noticed. Of course the pit noticed. A pit boss named, let's call him Delmar Boyette, and he's a composite anyway, walked over to Ray on their fourth trip and watched her play out a whole book. 20 coupons. She won 11 of them, netted about $340 in 90 minutes. Delmar smiled at her, told her she was on a lucky streak, and comped her breakfast the next morning. Because from the pit's angle, this looked like exactly what the marketing department wanted. A previously dormant player, driving up from Alabama every week, eating in the restaurants, staying overnight sometimes, generating drop. Nobody in the pit was doing the coupon math. Nobody was cross-referencing how many booklets these two had already burned through. The Players Club desk ran on a completely different system than the pit's tracking. The eye in the sky wasn't watching for this, because this wasn't cheating. This was the casino paying out exactly what the coupon said it would pay out. By the third week, the Osgoods were driving up 3 or 4 times, sometimes twice in one day. Up in the morning, back home to pick up the kids, up again after dinner. They'd cracked the system wide open. Ray figured out that different hostesses would print different quantities. One would give you 1 book, another would give you 2, sometimes 3 if you mentioned you were staying overnight. A supervisor once handed Miller 5 books because he said his brother-in-law was flying in from Houston. There was no brother-in-law. And here's where it gets interesting. They started recruiting. Ray's cousin, Miller's coworker from the beverage warehouse, a neighbor, Ray's sister and her husband. 6 adults total, each with their own player card, each walking into the Verano Palm and asking, sweet as pie, for another coupon book. The Osgoods paid them $100 a trip and covered gas and dinner. In return, they got the coupons. By day 22, the group was pulling in somewhere between $20,000 and $35,000 a week, cash, straight off the tables. And I want you to stop and think about that for a second. A pharmacy manager and a delivery driver had built themselves a tiny, functional advantage play crew inside a regional Mississippi casino, running an operation the pit boss was actively comping them for. Quick aside, because people ask me all the time after tales like this. If I ever put my own money on a table, I stick to places I've personally vetted, because the ones I trust never stall a payout, and I've never been jerked around. Where exactly? I left in the description below. Anyway, back to the Osgoods. On day 28, something went wrong. Not with the coupons kept working. What went wrong was Miller. He got greedy, or more accurately, he got tired of the $25 cap, and he started asking the Players Club hostesses whether there were higher denomination coupons available. $50, $100, VIP tier stuff. One of those hostesses, a woman on the swing shift who'd been at the property for 11 years, asked him why. And Miller, who was many things but not a natural liar, said something like, oh, you know, the 25s add up slow. Add up. She caught the phrase. Add up. She smiled, printed him 1 book of 25s, told him she'd check on the VIP program, and the second he walked away, she called her manager. The manager pulled the redemption reports, and what she saw made her sit down. In the previous 28 days, the Players Club desk had issued 462 coupon books to 6 specific player accounts. All 6 accounts had been created within a 2-week window. All 6 lived within 40 miles of each other in Alabama, and every single coupon had been redeemed. Not most, every single one. She ran the payout numbers next, and that's when the $480,000 figure came together. Because it wasn't just the match play winnings, it was the comps too. Free rooms, free meals, free show tickets they'd resold on Facebook Marketplace. The Steakhouse alone, over 30 days, had comped them almost $9,000 in food. The next day, day 29, Ray drove up alone for a morning session. She was 3 coupons into her book when a suit, not Delmar, someone higher, walked over and asked if she'd step into the office for a conversation. Polite, firm, not accusatory. They sat her down and laid it out. They had the records. They had the surveillance. They had the coupon serial numbers. They knew about the 6 accomplices. And here is the part that always gets me. They did not accuse her of anything illegal, because nothing she'd done was illegal. She had followed the printed rules of a promotion exactly as those rules were written. The mistake was the casinos. The exposure was the casinos. The coupon program was, in the words of the surveillance director who filed the internal report, a marketing document with the risk profile of a bearer bond. They backed her off, politely. All 6 of them, actually. Every player card was flagged, every account was closed, and the coupon program was killed corporation-wide by the following Monday. Every property under the same parent company, gone. Rewritten from scratch with 1 per household language, non-transferable stamps, and hard quarterly limits. The Osgoods were not barred, technically. They just were never getting another coupon in the mail as long as they lived. And they kept the $480,000, every penny. Because there was nothing to claw back. Every wager had been legitimate. Every coupon had been honored. Every dollar had been paid out on a live game with a real dealer under a live camera. Miller quit his delivery job in November. Ray hung on at the pharmacy until February, then walked. They paid off the mortgage. They put the rest in index funds and a college account for the kids. As far as I know, they haven't set foot in a casino since. Now, provocative question, because this one splits people right down the middle. Were the Osgoods advantage players doing exactly what a savvy consumer is supposed to do with a printed promotion? Or were they scammers who exploited a naive marketing department and dragged 6 friends into a scheme? I've told this story to friends in the industry, and the answer depends entirely on which side of the pit they've stood on. Drop your take in the comments. I read them. If tales like this are your speed, we've got a whole episode on a slot machine mistake that paid out $1.6 million to a widow in Arizona. Worth a watch. And if this kind of story time is what you keep coming back for, you already know what to do. One last thing to sit with. The Verano Palms parent company, in the internal post-mortem, calculated that the exact same coupon program had been running at 11 other properties for over 6 years. 6 years. Nobody had ever cracked it. Nobody had ever asked the hostess for a second book. $480,000 was sitting on the counter of every regional casino in America, and it took a pharmacy manager from Mobile reading the fine print at her kitchen sink to pick it up. So who's really the mark in a story like this? The couple who saw the loophole, or the company that printed it 1,000,000 times and hoped nobody would look? Tell me where you land.